You cannot optimize something you don't understand, and most people are living their lives without ever truly understanding themselves. They wake up, follow routines, meet expectations, and keep moving forward without asking the most important question: what do I really want? Not what your parents want, not what society says is success, not what your friends are chasing, what you want. This lack of clarity is the reason so many people feel lost, even when they are busy. Being busy is not the same as being focused. You can run fast in the wrong direction and still end up nowhere. That's why clarity is not just important, it is everything. When your mind is clear, your path becomes clear. When your path becomes clear, your energy becomes powerful. In the early stages of any journey, confusion is normal. You may not know your strengths, you may doubt your abilities, you may feel like you are not good enough compared to others. But here's the truth: nobody starts with certainty. People who succeed are not the ones who had everything figured out from the beginning. They are the ones who kept asking questions, kept learning about themselves, and kept adjusting their direction. Think about a person who applies for many jobs and keeps getting rejected. Most people take rejection personally. They start believing they are not capable, they stop trying, but a different kind of person looks at the same situation and thinks differently. They ask, what can I learn from this? What am I missing? Where can I improve? That small shift from emotional reaction to self-understanding creates a completely different future. Clarity comes from honesty. You have to be honest about your weaknesses, your habits, and your fears. If you are lazy, admit it. If you lack skills, accept it. If you are afraid of failure, face it. Because the moment you become honest with yourself is the moment you start gaining control over your life. But clarity is not only about knowing your weaknesses, it is also about discovering your strengths. Every person has something unique. Maybe you are good at communicating. Maybe you are creative. Maybe you are patient and consistent. The problem is, most people ignore their strengths because they are too focused on comparing themselves to others. They look at someone else's success and think, I want that, without asking, is that even right for me? When you chase someone else's dream, you will always feel tired. But when you chase your own, even hard work feels meaningful. This is why you need to define success in your own terms. For some people, success is money. For others, it is freedom, impact, or peace of mind. There is no universal definition. The only wrong definition is the one you never question. Take a moment and imagine your life 5 years from now. Where do you want to be? What kind of work do you want to do? What kind of people do you want around you? How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? These questions are not simple, but they are necessary, because if you don't answer them, life will answer them for you, and you may not like the result. Clarity also requires patience. You don't need to have everything figured out today. Start with direction, not perfection. Even a small step in the right direction is better than standing still. As you move forward, you will learn more. As you learn more, your vision will become clearer. Many people are waiting for the perfect plan before they start. But the truth is, clarity often comes from action, not before it. You try something, you learn, you adjust. You try again, you fail, you grow. Over time, things begin to make sense. So don't be afraid of not knowing everything. Be afraid of never trying to understand yourself. Because once you gain clarity, everything changes. Your decisions become stronger. Your focus becomes sharper. Your confidence begins to grow. Not because everything is easy, but because you finally know where you are going. And when you know where you are going, no rejection, no failure, no obstacle can stop you for long. Here is something most people don't want to hear. The world does not care about your potential. It only responds to what you can actually do. You can be talented, you can have big dreams, you can have great ideas. But if you are not investing in yourself and improving every day, none of it will matter. Optimization begins the moment you take responsibility for your own growth. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Today. Every single person on this planet has the same 24 hours. The difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck is not luck, it is how they use those hours. Some people spend their time complaining about what they don't have. Others spend their time building what they need. If you look at people who achieve something meaningful, you will notice a pattern. They are not always the smartest, they are not always the most talented, but they are always learning, always improving, always adapting. In today's world, things are changing faster than ever before. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. Skills become outdated, industries evolve, new opportunities appear, but only for those who are prepared. This is why investing in yourself is no longer a choice. It is survival. Think about someone who starts with nothing but decides to learn one skill. Maybe it's communication, maybe it's technology, maybe it's business. At first, progress is slow. It feels frustrating. There are mistakes, confusion, even moments of doubt. But they continue. 1 hour a day, one lesson at a time. Over months, that skill grows. Over years, it transforms their life. Now compare that to someone who spends those same hours scrolling, watching, waiting. The difference is not intelligence. It is decision. Optimization is not about doing everything. It is about doing what matters most. Many people are busy, but they are not productive. They fill their time with activities that feel comfortable but don't move them forward. Real growth happens when you focus on what is uncomfortable but necessary. You have to ask yourself, what is the one skill that can change my future? What is the one habit that can improve my life? And then commit to it. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Motivation will come and go. Some days you will feel excited. Other days you will feel tired, distracted, or even lost. If you only act when you feel motivated, you will never go far. But if you build discipline, if you show up even when you don't feel like it, you create something powerful. There is a story of a young person who wanted to succeed but had no resources, no connections, and no clear path. Instead of waiting for opportunities, they created their own. They spent hours learning from free resources, practicing skills, failing, and trying again. People around them didn't understand. Some even laughed. But slowly, things began to change. Small opportunities turned into bigger ones. Confidence replaced doubt. And one day, what seemed impossible became reality. This is the power of investing in yourself. It doesn't happen overnight. It is not easy, but it is worth it. You must also learn to manage your energy, not just your time. Doing the right work at the right time matters. Take care of your health, protect your focus, surround yourself with people who push you to grow, not those who keep you comfortable. Environment plays a bigger role than you think. And remember this, failure is part of optimization. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback shows you where to improve. If you avoid failure, you avoid growth. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be better than yesterday. In the end, your greatest investment is not in money, business, or opportunities. It is in yourself. Because when you grow, everything around you begins to change. Your skills open doors. Your mindset creates possibilities. Your discipline builds results. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for someone to guide you. Start where you are. Use what you have. Learn what you need. Because the person you are becoming is the most valuable asset you will ever own. Ideas are everywhere. Everyone has ideas. Everyone has plans. Everyone says, one day I will start. One day I will change my life. One day I will do something big. But there is a big difference between people who say one day and people who say day one. That difference is action. Execution is the most important step in achieving anything in life. Not thinking, not planning, not talking. Action. Small action, repeated every day, creates big results over time. But the truth is, action is hard. Not because the work is always difficult, but because of fear. fear of failure, fear of what people will say, fear of making mistakes, fear of starting from zero. But you must understand this. Every successful person you see today started from zero. Nobody begins at the top. Nobody begins with confidence, money, connections, and perfect plans. They begin with uncertainty, doubt, and many, many mistakes. The difference is they start anyway. When you take action, you learn things you can never learn by just thinking. Action gives you feedback. Action gives you experience. Action gives you confidence. Even failure becomes useful when you take action, because now you know what doesn't work and you can try a different way. Many people wait for the perfect opportunity, but the perfect opportunity does not exist. Opportunities are created by action. When you start moving, you meet people. When you start working, you see problems. When you see problems, you find solutions. And when you find solutions, you create value. That is how success begins. Not with a big idea, but with small actions and solving small problems. There is a simple example. Imagine two people who both want to start something of their own. One person spends years planning, thinking, and waiting for the perfect time. The other person starts small, maybe selling one product, maybe offering one service, maybe learning one skill and using it. In the beginning, the second person looks small, even foolish. But after 1 year, that person has experience. After 2 years, they have skills. After 3 years, they have confidence and connections. The first person still has a perfect plan, but no progress. Execution is not about being fearless. It is about moving forward even when you are afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else is more important than fear. Your dreams, your family, your future, these things must become bigger than your fear. You also need to understand that results take time. We live in a world where everyone wants quick success, quick money, quick recognition. But real success is slow. It is built day by day, step by step, mistake by mistake. If you are not patient, you will quit too early. And most people quit not because they are not capable, but because they are not patient enough. Execution requires discipline. You must show up even when you don't feel like it. You must work even when nobody is watching. You must continue even when results are not visible yet. This is the part that separates dreamers from achievers. Another important thing is this: stop worrying too much about what other people think. When you start something new, people may laugh, they may criticize, they may doubt you, but people always judge in the beginning and they always respect in the end. The only thing that changes their opinion is your results, and results only come from action. So start small, but start now. Don't try to change your whole life in one day. Change one habit, learn one skill, take one step, then tomorrow take another step. Small steps, repeated every day, create a big distance over time. Remember, the world does not remember people who had great ideas but never acted. The world remembers people who tried, who failed, who tried again, and who refused to give up. Your life is not decided by your thoughts. Your life is decided by your actions. Every day you delay, you are deciding to stay in the same place. Every day you act, you are deciding to move forward. So don't wait for the perfect time. The time will never be perfect. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Start even if you are not ready. Because the most important step in any journey is always the first one.